Good evening, folks. Welcome to the Copernik Observatory live stream, our Night Sky Live program tonight. You've been viewing for the past 15, 20 minutes or so a live view of Comet Tsuchinshan, I think. Yeah, let me try it again. Tsuchinshan Atlas. This comet is continuing to dim each day, but it is also climbing higher in the sky. So over the next couple days, based on my visual observing right now, we can talk more about that. But if it's clear where you are tonight, go out, look right now in the western sky. If it's clear tomorrow where you are, try it again tomorrow. But visually, as far as what I'm seeing right now, especially with the moon in our way, a near full moon over the next few days, it does pose a challenge in that regard as well. So my name's Jenny Cartie, though. I am Copernik's live stream astronomer here at Kopernik Observatory. And we've had an eventful skies lately. It feels like it was forever ago, but let's see, what date was that? I've already forgotten, but pretty much just last week we were observing the aurora. Oh yeah, it was exactly a week from today. We're doing Thursday streams, I guess. Thursday night last week we got to see the aurora, the northern lights here at Copernik, and now we're seeing the comet. We did put eyes on the comet on Tuesday, on the 15th. But and it was much brighter at that time, but you can still see it with the eye. And we took some pictures of it at our science park and a telephoto shot of the comet as well, which you're welcome to check out on our Facebook page or Instagram. But this is a live capture I cranked up the settings on my camera as high as they could go, basically. And let's see. Sorry about that. I cranked up the settings as high as they could go, and this is the current result of that. We will do some imaging, though, as well in our 6-inch telescope. I should pan the camera up towards our refractor here. I'll do that quick. I'll bring the camera around. And this is Copernik's. It's the classic streaming telescope. So many of our live streams have been done on our 6-inch refractor. Super planetary refractor. It's great for objects out there in the solar system. We'll get this set back up, hopefully where I'd want it. Let's see, nope. Always the trouble with moving your camera setup. Try that, nope, still nope. That's good enough. Yeah, so we're streaming inside the observatory tonight. And because it's later in the week with this comet, we do have some more time with it. Pretty much by 8 p.m., it was a challenge for me to do anything more with this comet, in part because of clouds, but also it was hugging the horizon at that point. And we have more time now, and we'll have more time tomorrow too. If you're in the area and want to come up and visit Copernik and see this comet with your eyes and with a telescope, it should hold on visually into tomorrow, and we'll of course be observing with our scopes here. Doors open at 7 p.m. for that. This will be our only live stream on this comet in particular. But that's why we'll get some imaging done. I got to keep in mind, yeah, I do not have all night for something like this. It's not like it's something rising in the east and like a planet like Jupiter later on tonight, and I have all night to observe. Nope, we've got a limited amount of time before this comet sets. So I'm going to take some snapshots of it while we chat here. And if anyone wants to comment in the chat, have any questions about this comet, I'm happy to field those as well. Hopefully my audio is coming through okay over my wireless mic here. We did do, like I said, we did do a live stream on the Northern Lights last week, and that is on our channel. You can go, I was actually using the same camera, just because it is so sensitive to light. It's really good at capturing there we go. Really good at capturing faint objects in the sky with a semi-live view. It's like running at 4 frames per second when we do that. So that's similar to what we're seeing here. A very low frame rate capture with the ISO cranked up so that we can get a preview. You're even able to see some of the dimmer stars around the comet. And I can also move our field of view here using our handy paddle on our telescope. And we can pan it down, see if we can get any more of that tail. On Tuesday night, the tail was very dramatic to the eye and to cameras. It was incredibly long. And the more you looked at it and then also averted your vision just off to the side from it, you could almost just like continue that tail way across, way further than you'd expect. So very dramatic comet a little earlier on, but it's still visual, and through binoculars and through scopes, it'll be nice for the coming days too. I'm gonna actually turn the lights down in here so I can have another look at where we're at with the comet. So I'll be right back, but I'm in the room. This camera, unlike our Friday night live stream cameras, will not track me. I will have to get one of those sometime, perhaps, for that purpose, so you can follow me around the dome. That would be pretty neat. Let's see, am I spotting it with the eye? With the white light just on, it's going to be a little tricky. But I was seeing it before. But now my eye does not want to pick up on it. Let's see if I'm spotting it in the finder, and maybe I can... Oh yeah, it's there. Now I see it. Yep, there it is. There's this post in our way. With our, it's not just any post, it's where our weather station is, and it is limiting my sight line a little bit. So I was kind of like dodging around that to spot it, and now I see it. Yeah, I can see the tail. The more I look at it here, the tail is still visible. Again, I'm not able to trace it back as nearly as well as I was on Tuesday night, but it is there. Tuesday night was an imaging night because that was the brighter look at this comet. So wide field imaging is what I focused on for Tuesday. Oh, yeah, that's coming in with a nice glow. Oh, my bat looks so spooky. I'll keep the lights off because that's quite a fun look there. It's not an official Halloween stream, but we can have fun with that. Okay, let's see. I'm going to take some shots now. I don't think it's quite going to preview for you right away, but I will bring up that other window. Maybe I'll just, yeah, you know, that's what I'll do. I'll minimize it. Yeah, we'll try that. I'll just put it in the same window. Oh yeah, look at that. With some good tail detail. Tail detail. That's fun to say. I might have to adjust my focus a little bit as well, but we'll hold off on that for another moment. I'm going to get the preview view up on your end so that you can see what's going on here with the snapshots. It's going to be a picture-in-picture view, just for your knowledge. I'll put it in the upper right corner. Let's do that. Yeah, it's going to take over for a second. Actually, maybe not on your end. Nope, it's not doing it on your end. That's good. All right. So we will cut this down some. Perfect. And bring this down to here. And we'll just label that quick. For those that might be new to our live streams, welcome to Kopernik Observatory. We are currently looking at Comet Tsuchinshan Atlas through our refractor telescope, our superplanetary refractor. Oh, satellite flying in front of the comet there at 8:18 p.m. All right, so now I've got a preview. Not sure what's better. I mean, maybe the picture-in-picture would make sense the other way too, but this is how we'll leave it for now. Here you go. There, now you can see it. Because any long exposures I take, you can follow up with us on our Facebook page or Instagram or wherever you like to interact with us. We post them there. Let's bring this down some more. Try and capture more of that tail wherever possible in our exposures. May have to do, let's take a look at what that's showing here. This is in the western sky, by the way. So if you look to your western horizon, you should see a faint star-like object, a fuzzy ball of light, and then just some of the tail streaming off. Not very much is visible to your eye. Cameras are going to do a better job of picking it up. But even just taking your cell phone out, your smartphone, and doing a night mode exposure, cranking that up as high as you can go, you'll get some good images that way too. All right, so I'm going to adjust the comet in my view here first so I can get as much of the tail as I can. So it might, the nucleus of the comet might be out of your view for a moment. There's another satellite. Lots of little satellites tonight. All right, let me see about field rotation here. Bear with me a sec. I'm just gonna try and get us as best a view as possible. Get as much of that tail as I can. Use the diagonals to my advantage. May even have to do a little more adjusting once I get this framed up, but all right, let's see what that does for us. I'm going to take a look at your preview, your live view on your end. That's coming through our streaming software to make sure that you can see it, and you can't really. So let's correct that. There you go. Now you should see, there we go. Now you can see the framed up shot better. Kind of see what we're going for here is we're using the diagonals, the full length, to try and capture as much of the tail as we can with our narrower field of view in our scope. Okay, let's do some long exposures. Now when I do a long exposure, it is going to cut off the camera preview. Keep that in mind. But whenever I'm not taking a shot, it will go back to normal. All right, let's crank that up to 20 seconds. Also going to take an opportunity to get some shots here. Sean asks, will it still be intact for its next orbit, or will it fizzle into bits or get shot out before then? Good question. I haven't looked at what the plan is, I guess the trajectory of this comet. I know it's on a long cloud-based orbit, so it's going to venture way out into our solar system once again, where a lot of comets live in the Oort cloud. But I'm not certain if, there's always the, if the trajectory is right, there's always the possibility of a comet exiting the solar system, or even previously being an interstellar comet. But as far as I know, I believe this one is sticking around in our solar system, just on a very long period orbit. No risk of getting destroyed by the sun, though, because it's already past perihelion, meaning its closest point to the sun has already been reached. That was a little while ago. Same with Earth. Its closest point to Earth has also been reached. So it's now venturing to the outer solar system. Oh, yeah, that 20-second frame. I'm taking some shots on my phone right now, so I'm not. Let me see, let's try that. Doing some night mode shots, something I definitely recommend that you try as well, wherever you are. Great way to capture this comet while it's dimming. And you'll see just how long the tail still is, despite it being so dim. All right, we'll leave that there. I'm more interested in getting these shots here. Very sharp nucleus there. Very bright light source. Well, it's being reflected, of course, but... And it looks like we might be seeing a split in the tail of some kind. Let's crank it up one more time before I play with the focus. We're gonna go, you know what, let's max it out at 30 and just see what the motion is like at that point, see if our scope is tracking okay. Take a look at the chat while we take this frame. Sean asks, also, any tips for better viewing if you're stuck in the middle of the city? With this object at this point, it's not bright enough to break through light pollution. If you live nearby, for any of those in the chat that live nearby, we will be open tomorrow night for comet viewing, and because it's well, now heading kind of into our southwestern sky, that's good because that's where we get away from our light pollution here in the north. A lot of the light pollution from Binghamton, our cities and towns, comes from the northern sky. That's where those are located relative to us. And you know, as you head looking closer to south, you lose a lot of that. So dark skies here, you may also want to look for a dark sky area wherever you are as well. All right, so I'm gonna adjust the focus a little because looking at my stars, it may help some. There's a lot of sky glow though because of the moon tonight. Well, let me see here. That might be sharper. Let's see. Let's take a long exposure shot with that one. So yeah, sadly, if you are in the city and you can't get to a dark sky location, this comet just won't show up. It's too dim. Mason asks, how hard is it to see with the naked eye? It's a challenge tonight. I struggled to find it a second time after already finding it once. As it's getting closer to the horizon too, it's becoming more of a struggle. But it was visible. And hopefully that remains the case into tomorrow as well. But it is nice and visible in binoculars and telescopes. So, and in cameras, of course, too. I can still get pretty nice shots just on my phone alone. So let's compare those two frames here. I didn't really sharpen those stars much at all. That might just be where we're at with those. I'll try one more time. Actually, maybe I'm getting motion now too. Actually, yeah, I don't know. It looks okay. We don't have a ton of time left with this. It's hanging on, but we are getting near the trees. Sean says, have to get that written onto an obelisk for the next viewing party and however many tens of thousand years that'll take. Yes, we'll have to make a recording. Toe asks, is it in North America and do we see it? Yep, it is visible in our skies to the eye just about still. And we are in North America, in Vestal, New York, which is in upstate New York area, southern tier New York. We're south of Syracuse, about an hour, almost an hour and a half south of Syracuse. Here's what I'm going to do really quick. Let's see how much time I have. A little bit of time left. I am going to quickly jump over to a bright star and just make sure my focus is still good because I might have messed around with it too much. And then I'm going to jump right back to the comet. So you'll see a star come into the field of view here. Maybe. Right about there. Okay, now I can okay, that is good focus. Now we'll hop back to the comet. If you do hear that grumbling noise, that is the dome moving. All right, and just like that, we're back. And now I'm very confident about my focus. Because those stars around the comet were too dim for me to really get a sense of in my viewfinder what they looked like. I needed a brighter star that I could see react to my adjustment of the focus a little faster. So I was able to turn off increase the frame rate on my camera so I can see the adjustment more one-to-one, which really helps. And the comet itself, like I said, is too diffuse, so it's really not that useful. Yeah, as we get to the horizon here, we're really dealing with some haze. But yeah, you can see the tail structure quite a bit. Let's go up a step. And you know what, we'll even increase the ISO some. See what that does for us. At this point, the tail seems to be blending into the sky glow. Once the comet does set below the horizon, we can jump over to the moon. That will work well with my camera as well. Dubal says I'm going to try and view it in Denver, Colorado. Yeah, I hope you get a look at it. look to the western sky and see what you can see. That is very bright. Let's tone this down again. And 30 seconds seems to be working though. The tracking seems to be strong at the moment, so we'll try this. Yeah, absolutely, Sean. Just a glimpse is all it takes, and comets can be a challenge in general, but this one was pretty nice. I think it's my favorite comet so far that I've experienced. The only one that compares in my mind is Neowise from a few years ago. Yeah, I like the results I'm getting here with the 30-second shots, so I'm just going to keep taking frames while we have a little bit of comet time left. This stream's not going to be terribly long. We are going to have a full Comets and Meteors program tomorrow. That is a discussion, it's a talk at one of our Friday night live programs. Or if you're in the area, you can come up for the in-person. We will open at 7 p.m. tomorrow for comet observing. And then we'll have our presentation at 8 p.m. Otto asks, hey, do you have a website to see the comet? You can look at our most recent images that we took on Tuesday. These ones will also post here later on. But on Facebook or Instagram, those are the places to go for the most immediate results. We do post images on our website as well. However, that gallery is not updated nearly as often. So Facebook and Instagram are the best place to go for immediate content there. If you do go to our website though, in our image gallery, you'll see one of the best images at Copernik ever taken, which is Comet Hale-Bopp from 1997. That was an amazing comet from what I've heard at least. I didn't get the chance to see it because I was like 3 years old, but 2 years old. I've heard amazing stories about it, and that image really sells how good of a comet it was. It has the very clear dust tail and ion tail. Really amazing image. We got some motion on that one. Some vibration or wind moved the scope a bit, perhaps. Try it again. We have a little bit of time left in with the comet. It is getting very close to the horizon now. There's another frame. Yeah, that's better. That's a better one. And we're just going to keep on taking frames here until we can't anymore. Eventually we'll see the trees start to pop in. By the way, the image in the thumbnail was the comet, this comet, same one, taken on Tuesday night. And that was through not a telescope, but a telephoto lens on a mirrorless camera. The same mirrorless camera I'm using here. But in this case, the telescope is my telephoto lens. So yeah, we will have our Comets and Meteors stream tomorrow, because incidentally, there's also a meteor shower coming up. The Orionid meteor shower. So we're going to combine the two, and they are interrelated as well, comets and meteors. And where meteor showers come from at all is also heavily connected to comets themselves. And we'll also, if you come in person, you'll go hands-on with one of our meteorites, and you will also see a comet made before your eyes. So that's what's in store for the Comets and Meteors program tomorrow night. In addition to hopefully getting eyes on with the comet itself. It is really holding on tonight, though, compared to Tuesday night, which seemed to set so fast. Like I was telling the stream before, we did lose that one early on Tuesday night, in part because of clouds, but it was also getting very close to the horizon at that point. That one had a little bit of vibration in it. Okay, take another. Oh, we're getting close to something. You can see some things coming into frame now as the telescope tracks this comet. So we're getting close to losing the nucleus. The nucleus is closer to the horizon, so it's going to disappear first. All right. Yeah, I'm still getting good shots. So we'll just keep on going. Yeah, I saw a mention in the chat that tonight's moon is the Hunter moon, or Hunter's moon. It is a supermoon as well. So we are getting a very bright moon tonight. Technically a larger moon than the average because the moon is physically closer to the Earth in its orbit right now. So it does change its apparent size slightly. Not something that's going to be noticeable to the eye, but the light has a more dramatic effect. So the brightness is something you could notice as an observer. The moon will be brighter this evening. Let's see. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned this, Sean, with the supermoon. What's coming next for next good visible events? It seems like over the last week, especially, it's just been back to back. Like in the past, sometimes we would do a stream on a supermoon, but then there's this comet, and it's like, oh boy, we got to cover so much. We will jump over to the supermoon just to wrap up the stream, because this camera will be decent at capturing it. But it's a challenge. It's been a challenge to keep up, but exciting too. The Northern Lights as well last week, and there's more chances too for Northern Lights coming up during the solar maximum. So in the coming months, we may get another opportunity with a similar storm. Hopefully not one that's stronger, ideally, because that could cause us problems. But if we got one that was similar, we'll take it, because that would drive the Northern Lights back down to our lower latitudes here and even beyond. Throughout the U.S., I mean, we had people on that live stream. Someone was from Tucson. They were saying that they could see it in Arizona there, California. There were reports from all over at the lower latitudes, even below us, seeing the Northern Lights. So that's another thing to watch out for. There is a lunar eclipse happening in March that we will definitely cover. That should be pretty nice. It is a total lunar eclipse. It's been a little bit since we've had one of those it's been a little bit since we've had one of those in general to observe. We've had some partial eclipses, which are nice, but this one will be a little, like, not super convenient hours. It'll be late evening into the early morning hours, but oh yeah, here come the trees. We'll get some shots of the comet through the trees. Yeah, that should be a nice one. Let's see what else, if I'm forgetting any major ones here for this year. We did have the Orion and meteor shower, which I mentioned earlier, which we may try to cover in some form, although the moon really makes that a challenge this year. The Perseids were nice this year, and there were also Northern Lights during the Perseid meteor shower. You can see some pictures of those on our Facebook and Instagram as well. What else? Yep, Orion and meteor shower. Leonids coming up as well. Ooh, yeah, look at the comet through those tree branches. That's fun. We're heading into it's kind of nice. The comet's kind of going into a tree with fewer leaves, so we should be able to still get a couple of frames here while it does that. Jupiter is at opposition on December 7th. Jupiter is a big enough object that it doesn't make a huge impact, but it's still, worth checking out. We're also, it's partially it's a big planet, and it's also really far away from us no matter what. So that poses a challenge in general. But oh yeah, look at those tree branch comet shots. Geminid meteor shower. Yeah, that's 2024. Not too much going on. It was a big year though, 2024. We should do a year in review for that because it's been eventful. Solar eclipse, northern lights, Perseid meteor shower, comets. Yeah. There's that other comet too that, from what I understand and what I've read so far, is probably not going to survive its journey as it goes around the sun. But it's interesting. You know, we got multiple comets going on right now. This one's most likely gonna be the best of the year. But let's see what if I missed anything for 2025. Trying to find a good summary here. Well, this is an in-depth list. Oh, Mars opposition is coming up. Where is that? January 15th is Mars opposition. Now, Mars oppositions are exciting. Not because it's going to be as big as the moon in the sky, despite what that hoax would lead you to believe. Don't listen to that. Every time Mars goes at opposition, every single time that hoax shows up, and it can be a little exhausting to manage expectations there. Now, as someone who likes to look at the sky frequently, checks in, works at an observatory, it is exciting for me that Mars is going to be at its best observable point because it's at opposition. It'll be the closest point to Earth for us. Let's see. Yeah, so as we head towards opposition, and even after opposition, those are going to be really great opportunities to observe Mars and get some really nice surface detail that you otherwise wouldn't be able to, both visually and through camera captures. We've done a number of Mars oppositions, a couple of Mars opposition streams, where we got some really nice photos from. So no, it's not gonna be as big as the moon, but it's not even remotely close. You won't be able to notice any detail with your eye, but telescopes really notice a difference. We're still getting this comet through the trees, so I'm just gonna keep taking shots of it while we have it through the tree line here until we can't anymore. Well, those are a couple of them coming up. I'll have to do some more research on 2025. But I know I guess the two biggest ones right now that I know of are Mars at opposition and the lunar eclipse coming up in March. Okay, let's see what else we got here. And Sean says all infer oppositions are when we are between the planet and the sun. Yes, exactly. So it's our close approach to those planets. So Jupiter coming up, that's our closest we can get as we orbit around the sun, and same with Mars. So Mars happens every almost 2.5 years or so. You get an opposition, and that's because it is much closer to us. So Mars is moving around the sun pretty quick too. And so we got to catch up to it each time. And that's also why you'll find missions to Mars happen several months just before opposition, because it's the best launching point to get you to Mars. You can launch from Earth and the trajectory will line right up if you get that timing just right. So you'll never have a mission to Mars, at least with current technology. You'll never have one where it's going to happen when we're at our farthest point. It just makes sense to wait till you get to opposition. So something with Jupiter is going to happen a little more frequently, I believe. I don't know off the top, but I think physically that should make sense. We don't have to catch up as much with Jupiter or Saturn or the outer planets. But I just don't know the exact timeline for those ones. Whoops. Get that back there. All right, let's see what it's doing. It's still there through the trees. That's so fun. Sonic the Rockstar. Hello, Sonic the Rockstar. Is the comet going to reach Earth today? I hope not. That's scary. No, the comet is already past its close approach to Earth. So it's now drifting away, heading out on its way to the outer solar system eventually. That's the trajectory it's on now. It's already gotten close to the sun, and it's already gotten to its closest point to Earth. So it's dimming each day now while it climbs higher in the sky. The climbing higher in the sky is nice, but dimming each day not so nice. We won't be able to see this for too much longer. With our eye, telescopes and binoculars will fare better throughout hopefully the remainder of this month. But yeah, the brightness is dropping off quite a bit. Based on what I'm seeing tonight, tomorrow night is probably going to be the last best night in our area to really spot it with your eye. It's going to be a real challenge to see it after that. I will say the magnitude predictions for this comet were really quite good. After it made its close approach to the sun, it's been pretty much on point after that. No, it is. Opposition does mean what you said at first, Sean, where you have them on two opposite ends and you're fitting right in between. Now there might be a little bit of wiggle room there on what close approach actually is, but on the average, when you're thinking opposition, it usually is going to be equivalent to a close approach. Like I said, depending on where the orbits are positioned, it might be a little bit off. But opposition is what you said the first time. Exactly. Uh-oh, I think we've lost it. Oh yeah, we're really in some thicker trees at this point. I think we have lost the comet. Definitely not the last time it will be visible in the sky. to telescopes especially. So it's not like tonight's the night and you never see it again. It's just, it is getting dimmer at this point. So we wanted to make sure as soon as it got clear again here that we did a live stream for it to capture it before it dims too much. And I'm pretty happy with where it was tonight. I got some decent shots with my night mode on my camera, which is how I recommend observing it tomorrow as well, to get a sense of the tail at least. How far back the tail goes compared to what your eye can see. But like I said, I think tomorrow night it should still be visible. If you're west of us though, you still have a chance to see this comet. So at this point for us here on the east coast of the United States, that was our look for this evening, and hopefully tomorrow it'll still be visible to the naked eye. Now there is a window. There should be a window of darker skies tomorrow night, just before the moon rises again. There should be a very small, like almost half-hour dark patch tomorrow night. And that'll be the best time to look at it. In our area, the conditions are supposed to be really nice. That should benefit us quite a bit. But it is also going to be dimming by another magnitude or so in the next day. So it's kind of like this play of, the views might end up looking pretty similar because tonight we have the moon in our way. Tomorrow night we'll have a half-hour period of darkness without the moon. And in that window, the view should be hopefully pretty close. That's my estimation of what's going to happen. Okay, now I could keep chatting here, but I think what we'll do is I'll just move us over to the Hunter's moon tonight, the supermoon. We can have a look at that through the scope, and then we'll wrap up the stream from there. Okay, let's go here. I just want to see what our view looks like on your end. Yeah, that's working okay. All right, let me think about how we have to move the scope. I'm going to turn the white lights on because at this point I don't care about my night vision. It's a full moon night, and so it's not going to help much to have red lights on at this point. So I'm going to get the scope over to the moon. I think I can do it. I'm just looking at my cable management right now and trying to decide what's best. Let me move the dome first. I wonder if I can get the... Let's try this. I'm gonna switch us over. Video. Okay. I'm going to try and get you a full view. Of what's going inside the going on inside the dome here. I do need to turn that off, and I need to get a audio input capture on so that you can hear my mic. There we go. Let's try that. Okay, there we go. All right, so now you can see the entire observatory, and I will adjust the camera so that you can see what I'm seeing in the dome. And you see the dome move too. So we'll pan this up and we'll move it around to the scope. I can actually move this camera right over here for now. And there's the scope looking out the dome in the western sky. We gotta move it to where the moon is. So I'm gonna adjust this. All right, let's see. And also I don't need this crazy ISO either. That can also be brought way down. Okay. And let's see what your view looks like. I'm starting to get a little cold out here. I think the temperature's dropped quite a bit. And with the dome open, that certainly does not help. Okay. Let's frame this up. Okay, there we go. Nice. That's looking really, really sharp. I shouldn't really have to adjust focus either. I'm pretty confident in it based on what we did with the star earlier. Now we can't really call that preview long exposures. So let's call it moonshots. That's a fun name for it. We're gonna use moonshots. Yeah, that works. Okay. Now I realize the streaming template is not correct over there. So I realize anyone jumping into the stream is going to be really confused now, but it's okay. We're not going to be on this for too much longer. I figured while we have a supermoon tonight too, why not? Ooh, hang on. I just had a disconnect and I'm not sure why. Hopefully everything's okay. I'll check in with everyone in just a moment to make sure you're still online. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it's still coming through. Yeah, that's weird. I am not sure why it did that. We may have just had a hiccup in our internet here. And it didn't tell me it dropped any frames either. There was no indication of that until suddenly it was like, yeah, you lost connection. But I'm glad we're back. Glad we're back. Okay. We'll just take some shots of the moon tonight, and that'll wrap things up. It's so nice to just take quick little snapshots and let that shutter go. I just want to see the quality of it here. Oh, this scope is just amazing. I love it so much. Because it's not like the real full moon was this morning, so we are getting some shadowing from the Terminator on the eastern side. I can adjust that view a little bit here. Oh, it doesn't let me. It only lets me do... Okay, that's fine, I guess. The little preview is not gonna... Well, I can zoom in. Why not? It'll give us some detail. Can look at crater Tycho there. How's that? Well, and Copernicus crater. But Tycho's on the right side. All right. We'll take some more. Maybe at a slightly lower exposure. Mike Moran says, incredible scope indeed. Yes, this is... I've done so many live streams on this scope, in part because a lot of what we do tends to be planetary. And it's our super planetary refractor. It just does amazing work. It's from Astrophysics. That's a company called Astrophysics. And yeah, we just recently, over the last couple of years, did a full maintenance run on this scope. So optics got maintained. One of our educators, Sasha Zaleski, who's been on our streams in the past, she repainted the whole scope. And yeah, so it's in better condition than I've probably ever experienced in my time here at Copernik. So yeah, optical clarity is just fantastic before and even better now. Let's look at some of those craters on the edge there, where they're just about starting to move into shadow. Oh yeah, look at those. Those are really cool. All right, 9:19 p.m. That comet held on. It held on for quite a while tonight. Take some more frames. But I gotta adjust our view now. Let's move it out of where we're getting some of that spotting. Yeah, the clarity's better over here. I'll have to look at my sensor and see if that's on the sensor or if it's in the scope somewhere. And let me see if how that affected your view. I might have to adjust. Yep, gotta adjust a little bit for you there. And take some more shots. amazing. Let me try something. Let me see if I can achieve a little better focus. It's always worth a shot. No. Okay, so here's something really cool. Let me make sure you're seeing this. The way I have it zoomed in right now is really helping us out here. I just want to make sure you're getting a visual on it. Yes, you are. All right, so the way we have this zoomed in right now, this is a great tip if you're interested in astrophotography and you're new to it. If you're not, you already know, you're very aware of this. But what you are seeing here when you look at this live view of the moon, again, that's the bigger view, the more zoomed in view right now. Or I shouldn't say that. They're both pretty zoomed in. I should say that it's the larger view of the moon, the bigger window. And that wobbliness you're getting, that image coming in and out, almost like it's pulsing or waving, that's our atmosphere. And that has to do with those levels you see in forecast reports of transparency and seeing. It's turbulence in our atmosphere. It's things and water, humidity, all coming together, and you're seeing it here as this disturbance in the optical field. And you'll see it at points, it sharpens, it gets a little fuzzy at times, it softens, so you go in and out of focus. It's not the scope, it's not the camera, it's the atmosphere that's driving that. So what really helps with the moon, for sure, but also planets, deep sky objects, anything that you're imaging, is stacking. Because what stacking does is it takes those moments of clarity in the optical field, collects them all, and the processed image gets rid of all the fuzzy, gets rid of all the soft, seemingly out of focus zones in the image, and only gives you the high clarity data. That's the power of image stacking. You can do that with the moon, you can do it with planets, you can do it with deep sky objects, anything in the sky. You can just image stack anything you'd like as well. It doesn't even have to be for astrophotography, but for astrophotography it's very useful because of these atmospheric disturbances that you experience. So this is a really good example of what that means. And if I have another look here, just look at if you're not quite seeing it, I think in general over the image you're seeing it, but I'd ask you to look at a specific crater in this view. Something just flew in front of the moon. Maybe a plane or something. Look at a specific crater in this field of view. Focus on it with your eye, and you'll see that it's coming in and out of focus because of the atmosphere. So at a certain point, your focus adjustment on the telescope is only going to get you so far. You can play with it as much as you want in this little narrow field, focus field, but eventually it's just not going to be that valuable. to adjust it much more. What is going to help is image stacking. That's how you can negate that and mitigate those atmospheric artifacts. So I really liked this example zooming in on the moon. I think it's very clear there what's going on. Oh no, the shutter. Yeah. I'm reading through some comments now. Which of the 3 scopes that you have is this? This is the 6-inch refractor telescope, our Sarton telescope, named after one of the former directors of Copernik, J. Sarton. It's our longest telescope. It's an f12. That's a focal ratio. I think it's 1800 millimeters, which helps drive the magnification for these brighter objects, so we can really push that. So this is our smallest aperture scope though, 6 inches across, 6-inch diameter lens. The other two, across the way from me here, is the 14-inch reflector, and then the largest telescope is our 20-inch reflector. That's our flagship. We also have a whole bunch of portable scopes as well that vary in their use case, but we have some pretty unique ones too, like the Springsoonian telescope, which is designed for accessibility. And it's also Kopernik Blue, which is fun. I should do a video on that telescope sometime. But not necessarily a live stream, but just to showcase that scope, because it is very neat. Okay, let's see. That's the comments there. Still have about 30 viewers at this point, so thank you all for tuning in. I will collect some more shots of the moon just so I can do what I was just talking about a moment ago. We can do some image stacking. But I'm going to zoom out of this field of view at this point. The zoomed in field of view, I'm going to adjust the moon up some of the way, and we'll get some more shots here. I'm almost wondering if I should do some interval. The trouble is, setting up the interval shooting is non-trivial, so I guess I will just... There we go. All right, interval timer shooting, start capturing. Sometimes I have to flip a setting off, and it's... When I use this my mirrorless camera for so many different things, between live streaming and just wanting to take photos and remoting in my smartphone, to remoting in with a computer, or tonight I'm connected over USB to control my camera, but sometimes I just connect in via HDMI to display what it's seeing. So all these little things, all these little settings that I gotta keep track of in my mirrorless cam gets a little crazy sometimes, but I think I just need to sit down and like record what needs to happen. I think that'll help. Start capturing, no, start capturing immediately, capture interval. Oh, it's gonna be a little annoying. I'm just gonna shoot it with the shutter. I don't really care about the interval between. Let's see here, can I zoom this out all the way to 13%? Yeah, okay. That's doing fine. Ooh, I am getting chilly for sure. Oh my god. Okay. All right, get some more shots now. All right, I am going to wrap up the stream here shortly. If you have any final questions for me, I am happy to answer those. Questions about the comet, the moon, or anything else. But I'll plan to close down the stream in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Let's see. Bag M27 donated $50. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Sean asks, as an astronomer, did you learn from tech as you did from the astro profession insofar as it affecting your ability to study astronomy? Let me read that again, sorry. I see you. I didn't scroll down far enough. There's an asterisk. How much did you learn from tech as you did from the astro profession insofar as it affecting your ability to study astronomy? I think I understand the question. Kind of like this interrelationship between tech and my interest in astronomy. I'd say they, again, if I'm not answering this quite the right way, just feel free to post it in the chat. But I think both of those interests grew in tandem for me. And I knew I wanted to go into STEM in some form pretty early on in my education. Like once I hit high school, I knew that was the direction I was going. What area of STEM, I didn't know, but I knew STEM was a focus. And once I started working here at Kopernik and exploring the skies more, that love for astronomy grew as well. So, and I think what's powerful about that too is I've learned a lot from both areas, and a lot of what I learn in my interest in technology benefits what I do here on live streams, or it enhances my interest in astronomy. So like here at Copernik, I've dabbled in all sorts of things, from 3D printing to astrophotography or photography in general, virtual reality, and because we're an observatory and science center, the content throughput is definitely astronomy focused, but we also do a lot beyond that, from engineering and robotics, biology, ecology. We cover a lot of subjects in our programs, focus in on a lot of areas in STEM. So yeah, in general, like on the average, we're an observatory, so the content throughput is often astronomy focused. And so that gives me a lot of opportunity to dabble in these technological areas, but bring that astronomy into play as well. I hope I understood the question, but if not, I can read the chat here too and check in. Take some more frames while I do that. Just realizing too, in my camera view, my face is like hyper overexposed, and I think it's because of this bright white light right here. And the camera doesn't know what to do about that. That's okay. It's Halloween. I'm a ghost. And I have a bat friend. I think we might be picking up some of the mineral colors on the moon. That's pretty cool. Let me look on the frames that are coming in and see what that looks like. Maybe not. It's over here. In the big mirror. Yeah. Oh, I am looking in the wrong spot. Where did I see it? I thought I saw some mineral colors coming through. Maybe it's just something. Yeah, it's like right up in here is where I saw it. Yeah, there perhaps is some coloring going on there. Right in here. Okay. Anyways, sorry. Tangent. I think I probably have a good amount of frames here, enough to do what I want with stacking. Let me see what's coming through on the chat here. Yeah, the atmosphere dramatically affects our ability to capture solid, well, I should say for our eyes to capture a really nice image of objects in the sky. Part of it is exposure too, depending on what you are looking at. So looking at a deep sky object, something very faint, is going to be a challenge for your eye to really notice anything, because you can't take a long exposure with your eye. Our eyes have excellent HDR performance. They can, in good lighting conditions and real world, day-to-day shadowed conditions, you know, like from the bright sunlight to darker environments coming into a darker space, like our observatory lobby during the daytime. That change from light to dark, your eyes will have to adjust, but they also do a decent job of trying to collect detail in shadow and trying to collect detail in brightness. Cameras can struggle with that quite a bit, but they do have the advantage of collecting light over time as well, collecting more light from dimmer objects than our eyes can. So that's great for dim objects. For objects that are bright though, like brighter planets like Saturn, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, or in this case the moon, what we're observing now, taking more frames here. You can never have enough data. When you're dealing with bright objects, there is a lot of detail you can see. However, the atmosphere does affect that to some degree. So looking at Saturn through a telescope directly with your eye is never going to be as good as a processed image that you'll see in a textbook or online. The result of those images come from image stacking, and post-processing those photos. We did post a recent stacked image of Saturn on Facebook and Instagram that you can see from this telescope. And you can see just how much detail there is. Now, Saturn is still a dramatic object because those rings really do pop. But you can get so much more detail by doing image stacking. So yeah, it is fascinating. And I think it's fascinating to actually see it too, to watch it with your eye, both in a telescope and when we were looking at it in our camera view here. All right, it is almost 10 p.m. I do have to wrap this up, I think. We will be back tomorrow night for another stream. This will not be Night Sky Live. Instead, it will be our Kopernik FNL, our Friday night live stream, which is a presentation or talk, a discussion on a particular topic. Tomorrow night is Comets and Meteors. So we're going to talk about this comet that we imaged tonight and imaged also on Tuesday night. And we'll talk about what comets are. We'll make a comet. So if you view it on the live stream, you'll see a demo where we make a comet. Those that come for an in-person visit, you'll get to hold a meteorite in your hand. We'll show that to the camera feed as well on the live stream. But yeah, it'll be an exciting program tomorrow, and our timing, our opening does change a little bit because we want to make sure everyone gets the chance to see the comet before we do the presentation. So from 7 to 8 p.m. we'll be comet observing out here at the observatory. 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. is our talk on comets and meteors, and then from 9 p.m. onwards we'll do observing through the scopes once again, looking at Saturn, eventually the moon as well. So we'll have that opportunity. Actually, the moon will be rising fairly early tomorrow as well. So yeah, the moon and Saturn will be out tomorrow. Those will be our two post-comet objects. Okay, let me check the chat one more time. Oh, you're new to the channel. Oh, cool, Bagam. Well, great to have you here tonight. And again, thank you for the donation. We do have live streams every Friday night. We do quiet down a little bit during the winter months because that's our quiet period. We're up on a big hill here, so hard to make it up the snowy hill sometimes. But otherwise, streams every Friday night. And then as events happen, and as my schedule allows, we do observing live streams as well. And as we head into winter, we do have some exciting objects popping up too, like the Orion Nebula. I want to get back to doing another stream on Orion because that's a really nice object to look at both visually and through camera views. So we could consider that. We also have our Sea-Star telescope that I do want to break out more and show you the power of that tool. It's a really accessible way to get into astronomy and to start imaging if that interests you. So that could be on the horizon, all sorts of stuff we could do. But we're glad to have covered the comet tonight, as well as the supermoon. And we'll be back for our next live stream tomorrow on comets and meteors. All right. Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Again, my name is Jenny Cartie. I am Kopernik Observatory's live stream astronomer. And we will see you tomorrow night for Comets and Meteors. Thanks for tuning in and watching the comet with me this evening.